Okay, we do have 1 minute left. Let me share my screen. Okay, guys. So towards the end, we are going to talk about the assignment, the logic for the assignment. And before that, we are going to talk about, we'll finish up those database methods, insert, update, delete, and we'll do some examples related to that. And if we have time, we will start on inheritance. Okay? So first important thing is somebody has to explain to me what we are doing. It's very simple. It's just that we are using the database class rather than the DML statements. And the way the results that come is slightly different. Okay. So this is the first example. Okay, guys. So what are we doing in this? Can anybody tell me what's going on? Okay, let me pick up students from the class.
So we are getting two accounts first.
Okay.
And then for the first, we are trying to rename with updated account 1. And then for the second account, we are trying to update name as null.
Okay.
And then we are calling this update method. And since the second value is false in that method, it will be partial upside, partial update.
Mm.
And then we are iterating that results to update the record ID, to print the record ID, update the record ID.
And then what will happen? So, what will happen in the case of the second record, which was updating it to null?
Mm. It will give null pointer
So, how many
exception.
times this for loop will run?
Only one time.
No. So here,
It runs twice, and the next time it throws an error.
very good. So for you, very good. So, first of all, what are we trying to do is whoever gave that description, they did a good job. Thank you. So the first one is we are retrieving two accounts from the account, two records from the account object, and then we are setting up the name of the account to be updated account 1, and then the second account that we retrieved, we updating it to null. Now this account becomes a bad value because this account we are setting up the name to be null, and because we're setting up the name to be null, it is going to result into an error. But the problem is, but the good thing is we are doing database.update, and since this is a false, all or null parameter is false, which means the partial success is allowed. So one record will be successfully updated. This loop will run 2 times. Um, this loop is going to run 2 times because for the successful record and then one for the failure record. So the failure record is going to be this record, and for that it is going to come over to the else block, and if there are errors with that record, it will go ahead and display those errors over here. Okay. But the point to note here is you can capture the results of your database.update. Is it save results? Okay. So whenever you're doing a update operation or an insert operation, it gives you a return type of database.save result. And then you can, this is an array. This is basically a list of database.save results. And then you are iterating over those save results. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and execute this. Guys, I'm using my old laptop, so this Epic Pen doesn't work that good. The new laptop is basically damaged, so it's going to take another couple of weeks to get it fixed. So you can see here, updated record ID is this, and then it tells you the failed record failed because the name was missing in over there. Okay, so very simple example. Similarly, we will do an upsert here, and let me go ahead and pull up that one.
Deepika, what is the difference between array and list?
So in Salesforce, you don't have array. We have only collection as list. They behave very similar to array. Okay, you can call it as an array or you can call it as a list here in Apex. It's one and the same thing.
Okay.
Okay. So now let's go ahead and do the next one. Okay, Rafini, you want to go ahead and tell me what's going on over here?
Okay. Yeah, we are creating two contacts.
Okay.
And one we are creating new, and the first one is we are updating the contact record.
Why you said that? Why did you say it's updating?
Because we are looking for the ID also in the first one. And upserting that in the database and iterating the results. Okay, then so result. If it is success, if your dot is created. Okay, if it is success and if the record is created.
What does that mean? Created. What does that mean?
Inserted.
Very good.
Okay, inserted, then get the contact ID. And if not, if this is the result is success, get update the existing contact ID with the with the ID we do have.
Okay. So in this case, so we are trying to insert two contact records, and you can see here one of the ID we are passing, and we will match. So if there is a matching record with this ID, then we will update the details on that contact. And the second contact is an insert. Is an insert operation, and then you're doing database.upsert, and this upsert is looking at this contact ID. And you are passing in this list. This list is this particular list here. And then you are setting up the all or none as false, means partial success is allowed. And you can see here the result of database.upsert is not a list of save result. It is a list of database dot upsert result. So remember, in the case of insert and update, it gives you a save result response. In the case of upsert operation, it gives you a database dot upsert result. Okay, so the data type is little different. What does it return you? Okay, so in the case of database.upsert, it returns you the results of this type. In the case of insert, it gives you the results of the type save results. Then you are iterating over the upsert results one by one. And then you are checking if the result is successful. Then the next thing it is checking, is it a created record or an update? So in the case of this one, it is going to be an update. So this else block will get executed, update existing contact with ID. And then for the second record, it is going to be for this record, it's an update. And for this second record, it's an insert. So then this statement will be printed. Okay. There are no errors, so this will not result into any errors. Now I will go ahead and go over to the contact records and then pull up a ID of an existing contact. Let's say we pull up this ID, and I will go ahead and pass this ID. If you don't pass the ID which exists, then it is going to result that that particular ID was not found and it's not going to do anything. Okay, so we'll go ahead and hit execute. So one will be an upsert operation, the other updating the existing contact with this ID and then inserted new contact. So initially you only had how many contacts? Now 4 were there. Now the new one got added. The 5th record got added, Jane Smith. Okay. So that is the simple one, database.delete. The result is going to be delete results. I'm not going to go ahead and teach you. It's very simple. We are just iterating over the success and the failures. One important thing is when you're doing an undelete operation, you have to do something like this. Okay, undelete means if you have deleted a record, it goes to the recycle bin. It stays in the recycle bin for 15 days. Within that time frame, if you want to recover those records back, you can recover them by using this undelete operation. Okay, so how will you do this? Very simple. We will go over to the developer console, and first let's just do the delete, because you have to delete the records in order to undelete them. So here I am going over. Okay, so it is going over to the case records, and it is fetching up two case records. So if you go over to cases, we don't have any cases. We have all closed cases. We have total of 4. And here it is retrieving the 2 case records and doing a delete operation on them. And then the result of the delete operation, it is storing into database.delete result list. And then you're iterating over that list here. If it is successful, it will tell you which cases are deleted. If there was any error, was there a validation error was thrown, or you couldn't delete it because it was tied to certain records, those errors will be listed here. So let's go ahead and do an execute. We'll go to debug only, and you will see 2 case records were successfully deleted. And if you go back and take a look at it, you will see initially you had about 5 or 4 records. You can see here 2 records are only left. The rest have been deleted. Okay. And where will they be available? They will be available in the recycle bin. So you can go over to the recycle bin and you will see those records on the top that we just deleted today. Okay, now the next thing is undeleting them. So how will you undelete them? So there is a query that if you used all rows in the query, select ID from case all rows, that means you have to use this word all rows. All rows means to check also all rows. Okay. All, and this is the letter R, all rows. That means to check it in the recycle bin as well. Okay, so we will go ahead and do one example here and debug, execute anonymous window. So you can see here the query has been changed a bit. And what does the query looks like? The query says, select the ID subject from case where is deleted is true, means the deleted flag is set, and then all rows means check it up in the recycle bin as well. Not only just look it into the case record or case table, but check in the recycle bin. And then what I'm doing is undeleting those cases that I just deleted, and the result is stored in database.of undelete result. And then the same thing, if it is successful, we have restored the case. If it is not successful, if there is an error restoring it, then it will go into this block. Okay, this is your undelete operation. Any questions on this? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So this all rows that you have mentioned in the query, right? So does it check only in recycle bin or both database and recycle bin, both?
It will only check because you have is deleted equals to true. It will check it up in the recycle bin.
Recycle bin only, right?
Yes.
Not in database.
Yes.
Okay.
It all rows means check it in the recycle bin, and then it is going to retrieve. Let me double check. I have to make sure of this one. Does it check only in the recycle bin, or let me do it. Okay, both active and deleted, but the deleted record is checks are those that have been hard deleted and no longer in the recycle bin. with all rows, the query operation will return records that are marked as deleted, but are no longer in the recycle bin. So over here it says it does check everywhere, not just the recycle bin. The all rows keyword in Salesforce does not check in the recycle bin. Only it checks for both active and deleted records, but the deleted records it checks are those that have been hard deleted and are no longer in the recycle bin.
So basically, if you
What were you saying?
so if you use all rows, it checks all the rows, even those that have been hard deleted, right? And if we use is deleted,
That
it
means
brings
you only
through
will give you the
recycle.
deleted records, correct?
Right. Okay.
Okay. So here, because you have said is deleted equals to true, it is going to only give you the records that are deleted, and it is going to pick up from the recycle bin. That is what this query is doing. This query, you cannot see, I could have given you a better answer, but the thing is, this one, I cannot use it in the inspector. If I have a Salesforce inspector, you cannot use all rows in the Salesforce inspector. So then 1 second, let me download it. Okay, let's try. Yeah, you can't do all rows. Okay, it gave you this. Yeah, this one doesn't allow this query. I believe it is going to check not only in the recycle bin, it will check in the main object as well also. Okay?
Okay. Yeah. Also, Deepika, the scenario you have mentioned, right? Database dot what's it? Upsert, database upsert, and all this. So, in which scenario do we generally use this?
So basically, this is something that you will use it if you have, probably you won't do it while you're writing the code. If you just write a script, if you have deleted records and if you just want to recover those records back into the regular, back from the recycle bin, you will use an upsert operation just for like writing a script to load those records back if you have undeleted, if you have deleted them by mistake, you can use those. That is the main purpose of using these operations.
Okay, so basically for any scripts that
Yeah,
would be.
scripts that you're going to be writing, if you deleted records, you will use it. Yeah, majority of the time it will be scripts. Okay.
Okay.
Now here, going back, so this is your simple undelete. So the only thing that you need to remember is that you have to use is deleted equals to true, and then all rows means it will pick it up, and then undelete is going to undelete those records, and then we will hit execute. Once you hit execute, those records will get restored back. So if you go to the cases, you will see those cases restored again. Okay, back from the recycle bin into here. So this is all about the delete database methods. There is merge and all of that, convert to lead, or the methods are available in the database class, which you can go through it. But major ones that you will use is these database methods that I mentioned to you. Okay, now any questions before we move on to the next topic? Okay, So now
I have one question.
Go
So
ahead.
using that is undelete. Is it pretty common in Salesforce or not?
What is
Or
it?
not?
Come back again.
So the undelete one, is it very common to use it in Salesforce? That's the undelete one.
Yeah, it is okay to, yeah, there's no, I haven't seen an example whereby you shouldn't be using it. If you deleted the records, right? And if you've deleted bunch of records by mistake and you want to undelete them, how are you going to do it? Guys, if you're not talking, please keep yourself on mute. Yeah, so if you have deleted the records by mistake, you can't go to the recycle bin and manually undelete each one of them or restore. So writing is an Apex script for undeleting them will help you in that case.
Right. And we can use it in batch Apex jobs too, right?
You should be able to, but batch Apex, I've never used it in batch Apex to undelete it. Depending upon how big your batch size is, how big your, let me see, can I use the in delete operation in batch size? That's another question. Should be able to use it. Yeah. Yes, you can do that. Yeah, you should be able to do it, undelete operations from a batch as well. Because if you had deleted 5,000 records, you can't restore them by a simple Apex script. So you will write a bad job to undelete all of them. Because if you try to do through a script, it is going to give you a governor limit exception. So you'll write a bad job to undelete them. Make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So the next thing we are going to talk about is inheritance. Now, the main reasons why we need to learn about inheritance is first, if you're going to do any topic from now onwards, we talk about exceptions or we talk about any other batchable class, anything from here, you will see inheritance is being used. So what is the real-time use case of inheritance is generally used to create frameworks. If you want to create a trigger framework or a call-out framework, then you will use in real world in the cases of creating frameworks or creating some what do you call tests when you're creating test classes. For these frameworks, you will use inheritance. Now, what is the purpose of inheritance? So inheritance basically allows one class to acquire the properties and methods of another class. So in the case of inheritance, you will always have a parent class. Okay, I'm so sorry, this thing doesn't work. It has a parent class, and then it is also going to have a child class. And what you will say, child class will extends from the parent class. Okay, extends from the parent class. I'm so sorry, guys. This I can't do much about it because child class extends from the parent. So whatever is the non-private modifiers, right? Non-private means public or global or protected. These are the access modifiers. We'll take a look at it in a minute. But those variables and methods, this class will inherit. Okay, so even though child class doesn't have those methods, but because you're using this extends keyword, you will be basically able to get everything from the parent into the child class. Okay, so you can see here, anytime you declare a parent class, you have to use the keyword virtual. So whichever class that needs to be extended or becomes a parent class, you have to use the keyword virtual in here. And then this is how you specify inheritance. So the child class extends from the parent class. So this display method automatically now is available in the child class also. Okay. So what happened here is you're declaring one class, which is a parent class. So the class that is a parent class, you have to mark that class as virtual. That then only the other class will be able to extend from this parent class. Now inside of this parent class, you have a method which is display. And then since you're using extends, then this method automatically becomes part of the child class. Now if I do child class equals to new of child class, and I say c dot of show and then c dot of display, what will be the output, guys?
It will print both the print statement.
It will print both. And if I say parent class equals to new of parent class, and I say p dot of show, is it allowed to do that?
No.
No. So from child class, you can access the parent class properties and as well as the methods, but parent class doesn't know about what is available in the child class. Okay, so remember that. So here, first of all, I'm going to create a parent class. And here you can see I'm going to mark this as virtual, because if you don't mark this as virtual, you won't be able to extend it into another class. So here I'm going to create another class, child class 1. Okay, so here if I go to this debug, child class 1, C H is equals to new of child class 1. And here if I can do this, or I can also do parent class 1 is equals to new. Is it okay to do this? Can I do this?
Yes, we can do that.
Yeah, because this, you see, parent, your child is a part of parent, right? So that's why we can say parent class 1 ch is equals to new of child class. Now here, can I do ch dot of?
But on the child class, you have not extended. You have not used the extend.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is 1. Now if I say ch dot of display, can I do this? What will be the output here?
It will print both the statements, I guess.
Nope. That was a wrong answer.
Class.
There is an issue here, and I'll show you the error message. Can anybody figure out what does that error message shows?
We don't pass parameters, right?
No, we're not passing any parameters. Okay, so the reason it is giving an error is because, see here, this display method is available in the child class, and but the show method, first of all, what happens is, when there are two parts of it, okay, and behind the scene what's happening is there is one method, is this on the parent class, does this display method exist in the parent class?
No.
Look at it.
On the child.
No, parent class, does the parent class has display method?
Yes.
Yes. Does the parent class has the show method?
No.
No.
No. So when you try to do this, it is giving you an error that show method is not available in the parent class. So what will I do? If I do something like this, it will work fine. If I go ahead and hit execute, Now it will work fine because even though at runtime, it's only going to look at the object, but because we did parent class C is equals to new of child class, that method show was not available in the parent class. That's why it gave you an error. Okay, so this is the one that was giving an error because the show method was not available in the parent class. It is available in the child class. So when you did ch dot of show, it basically complained on this one. So what I had to do it something like this, and then it will work. So first of all, any class which needs to be extended has to be marked with the virtual keyword. Then you have to use the keyword extends and parent class. You can only have one parent class. You cannot have multiple parents. Okay? Multiple inheritance is not allowed. Having multiple parents is not allowed. You can do that through interfaces. What interfaces are, we're looking into a minute, but always remember there's only be one parent. Now, can anybody tell me why this rule was made that you can only have one parent instead of multiple parents? Do you think why Salesforce won't allow that?
I think because a parent can have multiple childs, but multiple childs can't have.
Okay, so some were right. So, but what is the reason? So if I have a parent, one, and then I have another parent here, parent two.
I think it is not able to figure out which parent it is referring to if we refer that.
Exactly. So if I did something like this, okay, so let me show you. If I have public void show, and then let's say parent class one also had a display method, and there is a parent class two also has a display method. Now, when you are saying this one equals to new of child and you're calling ch.display, now ch will get this statement will result into confusion because it doesn't know which parent's display method to call. So in order to prevent all that kind of confusion, they basically told you cannot have multiple parents. You can only have one parent. Okay? Now, there could be another class which extends from the parent class. That is fine. But one class can only have one parent record. Okay? Now let's look at another example here. Okay. Now, method overriding. So that's another important concept is method overriding. Method overriding is, let's say you have a method available in the parent class, and in the child class also you basically redeclared the same method. Okay, so there is a method called make sound available in the parent class, and then in the child class also there is the same method with the same exact signature available in the child class. Now that is called as method overriding. Does anybody remember method overloading?
Yes.
Okay,
Same
tell me.
name, different parameters.
Very good. Within the same class, right? Within the same class, when you have one method with the same name but different list of parameters or different type of parameters, that is called as method overloading. Method overriding happens when there is a parent class and there is a child class. In the parent class also, it has the same method as the child class. So now at the runtime, which one will get called will depend upon whose object it is being called on. So for example, if I go ahead and do this, let's do this example, file, close all, file, new Apex class. Okay, you have to tell me the output of this. Did everybody was able to do the assignment? Nobody's giving me the answer. What does that mean?
No, I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Excellent. Without AI or with yourself?
No, I just used AI. How do we upload static resources in Salesforce?
Okay, but otherwise you were able to do it.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So here, if I go ahead, extends from animal 1. And here I have this method. Now, guys, look at it carefully, and I'm going to ask you questions. Put your answers in the chat. Okay, so the animal 1 is equals to A is equals to mu of animal 1. A dot of make sound. A is equals to mu of dot 1. And then I'm saying A dot of make sound. Okay, guys, what's going to be the output of this program? So the method that you're trying to override, you also have to mark that method as virtual. Okay, class will be virtual, method will be virtual. And then if you're overriding that method, you will use the keyword override. So these are the things you have to remember, especially when you're writing the code. If there is something that you are overriding, you have to specify that keyword and you have to mark that method as virtual in the parent class. Now, what is going to be the output of this program? So this is your make sound method for the dog class. This is your generic animal sound method from the parent class.
Generic animal sound.
Okay. And then?
It will print one, and the second one, it will just throw an error.
Why do you think it will throw an error?
Oh, both the time, a dog. I think both the time it will be generic animal sound.
Are you sure?
The second time it makes woof woof, right?
What is it?
Because the second time it makes the dog sound because you declared new dog one in the
Exactly.
third line.
So always look at, first thing you have to look at is if on the left hand side, does that method exist? What in the real time, when actually executes the method, it will look at what is on the right hand side. Okay. So on the right hand side, a dot of make sound, this particular will call from the make sound method of the animal class. Here you are saying new dog one. Here you are calling the object of the dog. So the make sound method of the dog class will be called. So here the make sound from the animal class, and here it is from the dog class. Okay. So if I go ahead, because see, when you're just for the error perspective, you look at the left side. Left side, you say, hey, if that method actually exists on the left hand side, we are good. But actually, which particular method will be called will depend on whose object we are passing. Okay. So then we are passing the animal one. So animal one's make sound will be called. Second time we are passing dog one. So dog one's make sound will be called. Any questions here? As you can see here, animal, generic animal sound, and then dog barks.
Our next.
Okay. Any questions, guys, before I move on? Everybody good? Okay. Now, the next important topic we have is abstract classes. Now, what are abstract classes? Abstract classes basically are the classes that cannot be instantiated. Means the classes, you cannot create an object of the class. And inside of the abstract class, you can have abstract methods. What is the meaning of abstract methods? Methods which does not have any body. It only has the declaration. Okay. So there is no method body. It is only this you can see here. Over here, this is an abstract method. It only has a method signature, but it does not have any body. Okay. So whenever a child class extends from the parent class, it is the responsibility of the child class to provide the definition of those abstract methods. Otherwise, it will give you an error. Okay, so a couple of things to remember. First of all, you cannot create an object of an abstract class. If you try to, so here in this case, you have created this class payment as an abstract class. So if you try to do payment P is equals to new payment, it is going to result into an error. Okay, so payment P is equals to new payment will result into an error because you're trying to instantiate an object of the parent class, which is marked as abstract. Okay, any class which is marked as abstract, you cannot create the object of that class. Now, an abstract class can have abstract methods. What is the meaning of abstract methods? A method without any body. You can see here, this is a abstract method. It does not have any body. And what is the third rule? Third rule says any class which extends from the abstract class has to provide the definition for that abstract method. So as you can see here, credit card payment extends from the payment, and this credit class is providing the definition of the process payment, because it is the responsibility of the child class to provide the definition of those abstract methods. If there are 3 abstract methods, it has to provide definition for all those 3 abstract methods. Abstract class can have abstract methods and non-abstract method. Non-abstract methods, the regular methods with the body. Okay. Abstract method, just the method declaration, no body. Okay. So that is the difference between the abstract and the non-abstract. So let's go ahead and do this example here. And we will go to the first important thing. Did you understood what is an abstract class?
I have a question.
No.
Go ahead.
Yeah, if the abstract methods, if there are 3 methods and the child class is only using 2 methods, do they need to give the 3 methods?
Yes. So any
Okay.
child class has to give the definitions of all the abstract method, even if it uses it, doesn't uses it, that's not the problem. It has to provide the definition of those abstract methods. It could be 5, it could be 10. Now you'll ask me, why do we need abstract methods? The reason we need these methods is to follow a template. Okay, if you want, that's what I said in the beginning. It's basically to maintain a framework, to create a framework. When we learn about triggers, and in the real world, you'll see a lot of trigger frameworks. Okay, you'll have a trigger class. It will have these methods. It will extend from those, and then you will define those methods with the similar structure. So in order to create the framework, that's when inheritance is used a lot. Okay, so abstract class is basically will have abstract as well as non-abstract methods, and the responsibility of the child class, which is also non-abstract. If there is an abstract class, okay, if this is an abstract class, and then another class extends from this abstract class, also is an abstract class, then this class doesn't have to give the definition of the body. Any non-abstract class, okay, any non-abstract class, if this one also has 1 method, this one has 2 method, now this child class has to give definition of 3 methods, 1 from here, 1 from here. Okay, so it is the responsibility of the child class to give the definitions of those methods which are abstract in the above classes. Anybody else have any questions?
Can you explain the abstract? I didn't understand that.
Okay, so abstract basically there are abstract means you cannot create an object of that class. Okay? Because the reason you cannot create an object of the class, because an abstract class can have abstract methods. And if an abstract method is the method without a body, that is called an abstract method. So here, in this case, if you look at it, if I go back, you see here, this is an abstract method. It doesn't have any body. Okay? Now, you cannot create an object of this class. You can have abstract methods, and then any class which extends from this abstract class has to provide the definition of this method. So you can see here, this process payment method has been defined inside of this credit card payment. Are you getting my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now here, if I go this one, payment class, and inside of this, if I go and I have these methods. Okay, and then you have is credit card payment. So any class which has abstract method also has to be declared abstract. Okay. File new Apex class, credit card payment. Click OK, and then here extends from the payment class. So we will say extends. And then here, okay, so if I go ahead and do this, payment P is equals to new of payment, this will result into an error. Okay. Why will it result into an error? Because I am trying to create an object of the abstract class. You can see here, abstract class cannot be constructed. So that's why this won't work. But if I say is equals to new of credit card payment, okay. And if I say P dot of, there are two methods here, log transaction. And P dot of process payment. Now, what is going to be the output, guys? What's going to be the output here? This is your payment class, and this is your credit card payment. First of all, is this going to cause any error?
No.
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 So the process payment class result is process and credit card payment. That's the result.
Okay, what about this one? Which class log transactions?
It is from the payment class.
It's from the payment class because that's the only method it has with the body. If I would have done something like this, if I would have done something like this, now what's going to be the output?
You removed from the payment, right?
No, I didn't remove from the payment.
Okay.
I think
Now,
both will be printed from the credit card payment. So first it will print transaction credit card ID.
very good. So it
And
will,
then
because the right side is credit card payment, so it is going to print whatever is available on the credit card payment. And the process payment is this one would be the one getting printed. So if you go here, wait a minute, invalid type credit card payment. What happened?
Do we use override an override function?
Yes, override we have to use because I'm trying to extend. credit. Oh, there's a spelling mistake. Credit card payment. Okay. Execute it. And then here, if you go, so transaction credit card type and processing credit card payment. Okay. So this is the one that got invoked from the credit card, as well as this also from the credit card. Now, if I would have done something like, now you can't do it, because if I try to create an object, this will give me an error. And we have already seen that, right? Because you're trying to create an object of the abstract class, which is not allowed. Okay. Any questions? I do have some more examples. Let me show. Okay. This one we did it. Okay. Interface, we'll do it tomorrow, but before that, I want to talk about the assignment which I gave it to you. Did everybody, okay, one person did it. What about the remaining? Yesterday was completely an empty class. We didn't had a class yesterday. So, do you guys need more time? Did you guys not understood the assignment? What was the reason for not doing it?
I figured it out. So we can use one of the strings. Methods, I forgot the name of it. It's on the computer. But basically, we can use one of the string methods to just remove the comma and bring back the original data again, assign it to the variable. That's how I figured it out.
Okay, come back again. There's a little bit of background noise, so I couldn't hear you properly. What were you saying?
So basically, I use one of the string methods.
Which one did you use?
I forgot CSV. I forgot. I wrote it down. It's in my file, but I forgot. But basically, that's one of the methods that used to remove commas and bring back the data without commas. I forgot the name. I can tell you next session, but basically I figured it out.
Okay.
I just don't remember the.
But were you able to create an account record for every row?
No, I just used it to just return the data without commas, and then after that, I know what to do. I can just use for loop to assign it to the accounts.
Okay. Try doing that. Try doing that. I don't want to say if it's going to work or not, as if you're going to make it work, good. If not, then there have to be a different way. Who did it? Do you want me to go through the assignment result, or you want to take more time to do it, the assignment? Somebody who has already done the assignment, I will give more assignment for you for tomorrow. Somebody who has not done the assignment, I will recommend you to pay more attention to that assignment. You can use a little bit of AI help, but not the whole thing.
Yeah, if you give us more time, that would be great.
Okay, so I'll give you one more day. We will look into tomorrow's, it's Thanksgiving here, so we won't have class tomorrow. I will see you on Monday. Okay, and since we already have 7 minutes, let me talk about interfaces also now. Okay, so I won't let you go before we finishes this interfaces. Now, important point about interface is that in the case of abstract classes, what happens is you have abstract methods and non-abstract methods. In the case of interfaces, all the methods are abstract. Okay, so you will say all the methods are abstract, and it is the responsibility of the ones implementing that interface. So in the case of interface, we use the keyword implements. Okay, and here there is an interface called payment processor. It has two abstract methods. So all the methods inside of an interface are abstract. You can see here process payment is abstract, as well as refund payment is an abstract method. Okay, so any class which implements this interface, you can see here it is using the keyword implements, and it is the responsibility of that class to define those methods. Okay, so process payment definition and refund payment definition, this particular class has to give. But if you make this class an abstract, then that class doesn't have to provide the definition. The class which extends from that, so let's say you have an interface, okay? Then you have an abstract class which implements this interface, and then you have a non-abstract class. So it is the responsibility of non-abstract class to provide the definition of all these methods which are either available, which are abstract in the interface, as well as if there is an abstract methods in this class, this particular class has to provide the definition of all those methods. Okay, interface will have all methods will be abstract. Okay, all methods are going to be abstract. What is the difference between an interface and abstract class? What is the difference?
Abstract class can have at least one implemented method, and where interfaces can have all the abstract methods only.
Very good. So in abstract class can have implemented methods, and interfaces will always have abstract methods. And you can have multiple inheritance, means you can implement from multiple interfaces. That is allowed. Okay, so you can have a class which implements interface 1 and well as interface 2. This is allowed. Okay, then what is this class going to do? Whatever methods that are abstract here and over here, this class has to provide the definition of all those methods. Okay, it is going to be the responsibility of this class to provide the implementation of all the methods that are abstract over in this interface as well as in this interface. Okay, so here you can see, let me do an example here. So you have a interface, and you can go to File, New, Apex class, Payment Processor. We will make this as an interface. And then over here, we'll go here to this interface. Interface has these two methods. Okay, so these are abstract methods. And then any class which implements this interface. So if I have this class, which is PayPal Payment 1, you will use the keyword implements, payment processor. Now I cannot, if I try to save this, now I'm getting an error. Now, what is the error I'm getting? This must implement the method. So both the methods which are abstract, I have to provide the definition of those methods. Okay. So here, if I go to this, I have to provide the definition. So I'm going to go ahead and provide these two methods here. Okay, similarly, I'll have another class created, and this class is called as the no. So here, let's just do this. File, new, credit card payment 2, implements, payment processor. And here I'm gonna, not this one. Okay. So now if I do payment processor equals to new of PayPal payment, and then here I'm going to do payment processor 2 is equals to new of credit card payment 2. And then here if I say processor dot of process payment, and then again if I say processor dot of refund payment, and then here if I do processor 2, what is going to be the output here, guys? What's going to be the output?
It will print statement from PayPal payment class, and then it will print two debug statement from the credit card payment class.
Okay, so because this one is this object, now another question is, if I would have made this particular class as an abstract class, then this abstract class, now if I go ahead and remove the definition of these methods, it is allowed. There's no problem with that. Even though this class is implementing this interface and but this class is an abstract class. Now, if you create another class, credit card, or we can say Visa, and if you go ahead and now this Visa implements, or you can say extends from which class? Credit card payment to. Now what this one has to do? It has to provide the definition of all those methods. Okay, credit, you can see here payment process payment as well as refund payment, even though this class doesn't have to do it because it is an abstract class. Okay, so any non-abstract class, it is the responsibility of that to provide the definition of all the methods that are abstract, either in that interface if it is implementing, or if in the abstract class, it has to provide the definition. But if you make that class abstract class, then it doesn't have to do that. Okay? Any questions from today's class?
I don't understand the last
So many
part, but
of
would you mind to just repeat
Oh.
touch base on it again on Monday? I know the time is up, so
No, I can. Let's just do it right now. So basically, what I was saying, see here, I made this class as an abstract class, right? So when you make if you have made the class as an abstract class, then that class does not have to implement the methods of the interface because this class is abstract. But if I have another class here, Visa card, which extends from this credit card payment to, which is implementing this interface. So somebody has to implement the methods in this interface, right? So it is going to be the responsibility of the Visa card class because it is the first non-abstract class in that chain. Are you getting my point? Okay, so one more time I'm repeating. If there is an interface, let's say this interface has two abstract methods, method 1 and method number 2. I hate this. I am so method number 2. Now, if there is a class, okay, this class is an abstract class. This class does not have to provide the definition of these methods. But if there is another class which extends from this class, and let's say this class has an abstract method M3, okay? So this particular class has to provide the definition of which methods?
M1 and M2.
All three.
All three.
All three. M1, M2, and M3. Let's say this class provided the definition of M1. Now, how many methods definitions this class has to provide?
M2 and M3.
M2 and M3 because M1 this class is already provided. So it only has to provide the definition of M1 and M3. If it has provided the definition of M3 and M1, then I only has to provide the definition of M2. So basically, the method's definition needs to be there before you call the object of that class. So one thing about abstract classes, you cannot create an object of that class, right? So you will never, so any class which extends from the abstract class, it's the responsibility of that class to provide the definition of the methods which are up in that chain. Whichever methods are abstract in the chain, it has to provide the definitions. Okay, now let's say you have an interface I. It has a method M1 and M2. Okay, M1 and M2, and there is another interface I. It also has a method M3 and M4. Now this class implements I as well as I1 and I2. So how many methods this class has to implement?
4.
4 methods. Okay. If I have made this class an abstract class, how many methods this class has to implement?
It depends. We can
0.
implement one, or we cannot implement any also.
Also, there can be none. But if there is a class which implements this abstract class or which implements these interfaces, it has to provide the definition of all the 4 methods. So any non-abstract class has to provide the definition of all the abstract methods up in the chain. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, guys. So next class, I'll give you assignments for the people who have already done the previous assignment, and we will discuss the assignment, especially the one with the reading from the file in the next class, and we will also talk about exceptions in the next class. Okay? So I'll see you then. The next class will be on Monday, not tomorrow.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
Deepika,
Thanksgiving,
Happy
guys.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving all.
Hi, Deepika.
Thank you.
Hi.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Deepika, one question right here.
Yeah.
In the payment class, can you just open this payment processor or payment one and credit card?
One second.
Don't we need any override keyword here?
Where? So here in the case of PayPal payment 1, we don't.
But we use in case of abstract classes, right?
See, if you're overriding it, you're not overriding it.
Okay, got it.
This is not over. This is just providing the definition. So
Implement,
here I will only have to provide, if I do this has to be provided over here. Okay. Override is if the method has been declared in the parent as well as you're trying to redeclare it in the child class. That's when you're going to use override.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, guys, happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you on Monday at 8 o'clock.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.